Yeti cancels orders after learning it's for a conservative women's group. Guys, like just based off the title, we haven't checked out the video yet. I remember, like, bro, maybe a decade ago, maybe more than a decade ago, there was like a photographer that decided, like back when Obama was president, there was a photographer that decided that he did not want to photograph like two guys getting married, and the internet basically melted at that time. All right, and similar, there was a like a cake maker who decided that they didn't want to make cakes for two women that were getting married. Like I'm going way back, okay, all right, way back. So what is Yeti doing? Yeti's deciding because of someone's ideology, political ideology, not to facilitate it. Where is the left right now? Where are they? Where are they, guys? Should they be all over this story? I wonder. I feel like they should be, but for some reason, I'm not seeing anything about this, bro. Right? But either way, let's go and jump to this immediately. This is a suggestion via Discord.
Controversy is brewing over custom drinkware. Kimberly Begg, president of the Clare Boothe Luce Center for Conservative Women, says Yeti canceled their order simply because they used words they consider political. The company cites a policy against political affiliations, but critics call this corporate bias. So
hold on. I mean, generally, no one really reads any type of like small print. I mean, everyone basically just signs the agreements or just clicks it. They scroll all the way to the bottom to ignore it. Is this something that is real, profane, or political in nature? If that's the case, then that may change things slightly, but still not so much in this context, bro. I still see it as the same thing as the cake maker and the photographer.
So, Kimberly, this was a big order. You've placed it before. So what were the words, or what did you want to put on here that was so offensive that Yeti decided it was a violation of their policy?
You've placed it before,
we wanted to put our logo on the mug. And of course, the logo includes our name. The name of our organization is the Clare Boothe Luce Center for Conservative Women. Yeti came back to us and said, I'm sorry, we can't fulfill your order. Actually, it was worse than that because they processed our order and then came back and actually canceled it because they said that the words conservative women were political. Now, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which means by law, we are a non-political organization.
Yeah, and the one interesting thing that you had mentioned, you've done some research since this order was placed and canceled. I know you tried very hard to work with them to help them understand what you're all about, but you found some information online that you say is hypocritical. What did you find?
Yeah, we did. You know, as a conservative organization, we participate in education programs with young women from across the country. Like I said, we are non-political, and all we wanted was to do business with this company because we actually really love their mugs. And a lot of our supporters and speakers and students also really love their mugs. So we weren't looking for an endorsement. All we were looking for was the opportunity to actually give them some business, to give them, some of our money so that we could share their wonderful product with the people who support us. So it was shocking to us after this claim of neutrality to go on their website and see that they not only do business with far left radical organizations, they're actually actively partnering. One example is an LGBTQ organization called the...
Bro, did you purposely mess up the letters? Let me know if you did that in the comments. Make sure you watch this video.
Venture Out Project. And what they do is they go on overnight hiking trips with kids. So it's an LGBTQ organization that does overnight trips with kids. We also looked on the website and found that they endorse all sorts of programs that conservatives disagree with, which is fine. That's their right.
Right.
But programs like DEI initiatives that they're happy to celebrate on their website, all while refusing to do business with a conservative organization. Conservatives, by the way,
I smell it coming.
We don't consider the word conservative to be political. We consider it to be patriotic. As conservatives, we stand for the same principles that our country was founded on. We stand for faith and freedom and family. And we just consider this to be an all-American kind of thing. And to be honest, I think a lot of conservatives are just really tired of being marginalized for being patriotic and all-American.
Okay. I don't like victims, guys. I have a problem with people playing the victim. I hear what she's saying. It makes sense, but the last little bit of it was very victimish, guys. All right, we have to all agree on that. But I do definitely see most likely some type of protest coming from this, bro. I can see that. Specifically coming from the right, that definitely, yeah, they're gonna stop buying Yeti, bro. And the crazy thing about it is, right? So like I'm heavily into like off-roading. I love lifted vehicles, guns, hanging out in the middle of nowhere, specifically the mountains, right? I love that type of thing. And you know what all of these people basically are politically? They're basically all right-leaning, all of them. Or nearly every single person that I go shooting with is right-leaning. The majority of the people that I go trailing with are right-leaning. And you know what's on the back of all of their off-road vehicles, guys? Yeti coolers. Okay? So I'm telling you, that's not gonna look good, bro. That's not a good look. All right, Yeti, because your base. Well, how about this? In my opinion, from what the only time I see people buying your brand are people that are generally like super family oriented. They are in the middle of the woods. Okay, they go hiking, camping, RVing, all these things, and I always see these Yeti things, bro. I'm telling you, I don't have any Yeti products at all, but I do see it often in places where the majority of the people that we're encountering are conservatives. Okay, so, Yeti. All right.
According to the brand, Yeti values respect, tolerance, and open dialogue.
It's a contradiction.
Says it serves a diverse and varied customer base. So, what have they said to you individually, and what have they said publicly, if anything, about why they could not fulfill the order at this point?
Well, they have a few reasons that they give when they turn down an order. And I guess the two that would come as close to applying to us would be that they don't participate with groups that are political in nature and that are profane. So they're either calling conservatives political or they're calling us profane. And of course, the reason that they keep repeating is that they are not political, but how you could consider, an organization that has all American values to be political when you don't consider an organization that works with kids pushing an LGBTQ agenda on them is not political. And then, of course, there's our tax status again. By law, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, non-political organization.
And clearly, you're not taking this lightly. In fact, I want to talk about that billboard that's up in Times Square calling out Yeti. And you've also gotten a ton of support.
Bro, they got a billboard?
That went up. It sounds like a lot of people want to help you and are happy to have your business.
We are overwhelmed by the amount of support that we are receiving. Do you know that we have heard from more than 115 companies that really want to support us, that they actually want to fulfill our mug order? And we've heard from 8 companies that want to fulfill our order for free. So we are absolutely overwhelmed and very, very pleased by that level of support. And yes, we are in Times Square. We are now in the heart of New York City. Why? Because conservatives belong in New York City. We belong in every city across the country. Conservatives are tired of being marginalized. This is so much bigger than the good work that we are doing here with young women at the Luce Center. This is about conservatives being tired of being silenced. We're tired of being marginalized, and we want to be respected by corporations and by people in society who have accepted this narrative that there's tolerance for far left extremist ideas, but not tolerance for patriotic Americans.
And I imagine, Kimberly, this is raised a lot of...
I mean, listen, it's a fair statement. The way she put it this time makes a little bit more sense and sounds a little less, right? Like woe is me type of thing, guys, right?
Awareness about your organization. And is there anything else big picture that you hope comes out of this? Because you're a role model for a lot of women.
We did a poll last year that found that 18 to 24-year-old women will often, I think 40% of them identify with the liberal label. But as it turns out, they actually hold very naturally conservative instincts, especially related to marriage and motherhood, family, fairness, crime. Young women value their safety. So our message is all you young women out there who have these naturally conservative instincts and are looking for support and camaraderie and greater education and mentoring, please come see us at the Luce Center, and we would be thrilled to involve you in our programs.
Okay, guys. All right. So here's my overall opinion here. A brand like Yeti, specifically with me seeing it exclusively in places where generally there are like super conservative people, I can imagine how this is going to hurt their brand in that instance. But their ability to not specifically discern what is considered political versus what is not is interesting. Definitely, the term conservative is a political term. If it is inside of their let's say their mission statement, then they're going to go after it because they're feeling that that's the case here. And what I'm saying, I guess why I'm saying this is so on YouTube, generally you post a video, and depending on the person specifically who is looking at it, they can, like at YouTube at least, if they are offended in any meaningful manner to what you're saying, the human reviewer that reviews the videos themselves will literally be like, violence, where's the violence at? And then they'll like timestamp where they're saying the violence is for the records, but bro, there's no violence, or there's no like misspeaking. I don't know what I'm saying here, guys, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. Hopefully. Depending on who is watching it through their eyes, the human reviewer's eyes will depend on what things mean, right? So I am guessing the person who specifically saw this, right, was like, I don't like this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. But this niche subgroup of America, that's completely fine. I like that. So, but these people are evil. That's the type of vibe I'm getting from the whole conversation here, guys. All right. But anyway, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.